The Many Saints of Newark, marketed with the subtitle A Sopranos Story, is a 2021 American crime drama film directed by Alan Taylor and written by David Chase and Lawrence Connor. A prequel to Chase's HBO crime drama series The Sopranos, it takes place during the 1960s and 1970s in Newark, New Jersey. The film follows a violent gang war from the perspectives of mobster Dickie Moltisanti and his teenage nephew, Tony Soprano, in the midst of the city's 1967 riots. It stars Alessandro Nivola as Dickie and Michael Gandolfini as Tony, the character originated by his father in the series, with Leslie Odom Jr., John Bernthal, Corey Stoll, Billy Magnuson, Michaela de Rossi, John Magaro, Ray Liotta, and Vera Farmiga in supporting roles. Warner Brothers Pictures and New Line Cinema obtained the rights to produce The Many Saints of Newark alongside HBO Films. The film had its world premiere at the Tribeca Fall Preview on September 22, 2021, and was theatrically released in the United States on October 1, 2021, along with a month-long simultaneous release on the HBO Max streaming service. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, with many praising Gandolfini's performance. In 1967, a young Tony Soprano travels with Richard, Dickie, Moltisanti to welcome home Dickie's father, Aldo Hollywood Dick Moltisanti, and his new Italian wife, Giuseppina Bruno. Moltisanti is a soldier in the DeMeo crime family, which also consists of Giovanni, Johnny Boy, Soprano, and his brother Corrado, Jr., Soprano Jr., Silvio Dante, Polly Galtieri, Salvatore Bonpensero, and his father, Buddha Bonpensero. After black taxi driver John William Smith is assaulted by police officers, riots break out in Newark. One of Dickie's black associates, Harold McBrayer, begins to take part in the riots. Simultaneously, Johnny and Junior are arrested at a carnival, while Tony watches from a distance. Johnny is sentenced to 4 years in prison. Hollywood Dick kicks Giuseppina down a flight of stairs. Dickie realizes this and confronts him. After a physical altercation, Dickie kills his father and puts his body in his drainage supply building, which he burns down to make it look as though it were destroyed in the riots. Dickie visits his uncle and Hollywood Dick's twin brother, Sally, who is serving a life sentence in prison for killing another made man in his own family. Sally knows that Dickie killed his father, but doesn't challenge him. Dickie begins seeing Giuseppina as his Guma. In elementary school, Tony is suspended from school for starting a gambling operation. Harold decides to move to North Carolina following a murder warrant, and Dickie gives him $500 as a gift. 4 years later, Johnny is released from prison. At a welcoming back party, Dickie and his wife Joanne show an infant Christopher to Johnny and the rest of the family. Christopher cries when he sees Tony, and a woman at the table tells him that some babies, when they come into the world, know all kinds of things from the other side. Harold returns from North Carolina and decides to start his own black crime operation in Newark. Giuseppina begins having an affair with Harold after a fight with Dickie. Harold kills one of the DeMeos and steals their protection money. Dickie and his crew interrogate one of Harold's gang members, Cyril, and kill him. In retaliation for Cyril's death, Harold and his gang engage in a shootout with the DeMeos, during which Buddha Bonpensero is killed. Tony steals the answers for his GOMTL exam, and the school guidance counselor tells Tony's mother, Livia, that he has a high IQ and the personality traits of a leader, and that Tony told her about a time in which his mother hugged him and read him a book about Sutter's Mill and how it was one of his best memories. Livia tries to show her affection for Tony, but she mentions how her doctor wanted to prescribe her antidepressants, and when Tony believes it might be helpful, she antagonizes him. At a wake, Tony asks Dickie if he could get Ellaville for his mother, but Dickie is hesitant. Junior slips and falls on the steps and Dickie laughs, angering him. Dickie reconnects with Bruno and promises her a beauty parlor for her to run. During a walk on the beach, Bruno confesses to an affair with Harold. Dickie, angered, drowns her in the sea. Dickie visits Sally, who is again seemingly aware of his involvement in Bruno's death, but chooses not to confront him. However, he advises Dickie to stay out of Tony's life. Dickie starts to avoid Tony, much to his anger. Silvio encourages Dickie to reconcile with Tony, and Dickie relents. However, before he can arrive home, he is shot in the head from behind by an unknown assailant, under the implied orders of Junior Soprano. At the wake, Tony stares at the body of Dickie,